It's Reed Timmer. It's just huge. Going right through downtown. Sorry for a little extra long intro here. There's some footage you need to see. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. That was an intense tornado right there that hit China. That was an EF4. And it went right through their town and everything. You saw it go right through the skyscrapers and everything. That's something we should probably start getting used to seeing, okay, because it's not just going to be open countryside anymore. All right, so there's that. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. And while we're getting adjusted here, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. If some of you have snuck or stuck around for the spiritual report at the end here, you have found that there's much more to this YouTube family than any other. Okay? Because of, well, a little divine intervention here. Okay? So, here we are, July 5th. Happy Hangover Day. All right, let me just start by saying 4th of July is like a big drinking holiday for everybody, and they all get sloshed. And then the next day, after being out in the sun and drinking all day and partying all night, the next day you're not feeling too well, right? So most people are all beat up on July 5th. And especially me, and I don't drink. I just suffer the consequences for everybody else's partying. So today I was a bunch of pieces all over the place when I woke up. So I had to kind of put myself back together and then, try to go ahead with my day. And it's a work day for me. So I have a different kind of job where I have to work. I don't get to call in sick. I don't get to show up late. I have to keep going. So, anyways, it's just a rough day for me, but I managed to salvage it and doing a lot better now. So, here we are, July 5th, and you've been watching this loop play for a minute. Bunch of stuff is kind of obvious what's going on in here, okay? Sometimes I feel like I waste too much time going through frame by frame stuff, but we still got our shadow that was casting right here. You see this finally move on out. All right, watch. All right, we got that one there. We got one here, one there. This tail end of this event. We got this long duration right here. Okay, so a lot going on. This tells me that there's another big body approaching. These are all the satellites outside of it first. And I can see a spread growing here. Like this kind of arc right there. We used to got music playing. Get out of there. All right, so we're about to see another big object, I feel. I have a feeling. So pray I'm wrong, but let's just see what unfolds here. Let me grab the opening frame and we'll get started here. Are you guys digging this channel or what now? We finally figured out how precious this family is. Have you been caught up yet? Are you like intrigued, like a good book or a good song? Okay. Opening frame, July 5th. Here, we'll even go up here. July 5th, 2024. Opening frame, 024. Let me slide. And let's start pecking away. Marching away here. Okay. First event coming out of here. Okay. Here's our object. Wait, let's get it right there. Okay. See our nice round object right here. Got plasma built up on the front. It's trailing plasma behind it. So it's like a flaming ball. It's like a ball with flames coming off the back of it. Here's look like a secondary one. Okay, so are you guys seeing this? You got to remember this is three-dimensional out in space. This is a spheroid. And right on the front face of the sphere is a bunch of plasma built up. It's dark going over the top right here, but you can see these trailing flames coming back off of it. Let me even watch this. This ought to be good. Darken it. Yeah, you can kind of see the flames are in white a little bit right there. And then let me brighten it back up. Okay, we'll zoom back out. Right about there. Now, as this proceeds on out, the ghost image right here. Right there. And that was the one I got on the thumbnail here. But it gives us a little closer detail. I see another round circular something here with like prongs coming off of it. 3 prongs, round spheroid with like 1, 2, 3 little jets of flames coming off of it or something, streaking back behind here. See it now? Good. All right, let's proceed here. And that one goes, exits stage right, kind of like Joe Biden. Ooh, did I say that? We could all see that one coming. Boom, boom. All right, now let's get back to business. Over here, look at all of our spires that are coming off in the first place. All right, you see this big stretch right here? This is something, I think something big might be coming on that side. We have our slow motion or long duration event here. Another one going here. You see these white spikes coming out. An object's right in there. That's your plasma streaming over it. Whatever's coming out here, another UFO. Oh, good, you made it. We got activity going in. We got activity coming out. We got this long duration event. Now there's something round right here with stuff flowing over it. Let's see if I can capture this one really quick. Very faint and kind of hard to see, but we're gonna, oh, there it goes. It's showing up. Okay. Round object right here. Flow coming out, bending and going over it. Do you see the change in direction of the flow? Do you see light? This is plasma, which is light, bending, coming out at this angle, bending and going over our spherical object. It's coming out, going around the side, going around the side this way. Then there's a stream that comes right out in the face of this spheroid, bends and goes up and over it. Okay? These objects bend light. Okay? I don't know how much more obvious it could be. I think people have a problem with wrapping their minds around that plasma is light, okay? Unfortunately, plasma is light, and you can see it bending, all right? So gravitational, the bending of light with the gravitational field, okay? We'll get into, oh boy, wait until you hear about this. Gravitational lensing, okay? We'll get into that later on too. Then we have to cover a lot of physics first before we can get there, okay? But here we go. You see our object. It looks like it has little black moons or something accompanying it, all right? Can you kind of see that? There's one maybe right in the front here. That's what's causing this to bend and go over it that's in front. It can bend light as well. Okay, and it's going over it like that. Very faint in that frame right there, but there it is. And you can tell by the flow of it, okay? And it'll disappear because these things, as the plasma spreads and goes around them, it tends to not dissipate, but spread away from the object. So there's a couple of frames sometimes, or if we get a good slow motion flow like this, it'll drape over the object and paint it pretty well. Okay, I need to get out of that and slide again. Bear with me, I'm a sore puppy. All right, you can still see it sitting there. All right, it's still kind of positioned right there. It's not coming out really fast, just kind of sitting there. You can see it causing, see the little satellite causing a shadow right there. Now we have another event coming out right here. This still ongoing, okay? Right here, boom. Very faint right out front here, but now you can see it. Okay, so let me kind of grab that button. Okay, it's moving out of frame. Another one right here. All right, we have a CME reacting to this little object right there. And something else going on here, it looks like. I'll let you be the judge of this. You guys don't listen to me. I need you to be the judge of this as well, okay? I just point out what I see. There's a lot more going on in here that I don't point out either. I've seen people in the comments go, hey, you missed this. Hey, you missed that. I go back and look. It's like, yep, you're right. There's this. There's that. Okay. But you can see what looks to be quite a little pack of these objects right here. All right. And I've seen them be in tight little packs like this, and then they hit the sun's magnetic field and they spread like cue balls. All right, here's one here. All right, let me get this out of there. Okay, see this one down below. You can see how they're scattered, right? Oh, now over here, my bad. I got to pull back one more dimension. Yeah, there we go. All right, over here now, you are our ongoing event. I think our object's here, or we might be seeing a different shaped object. We can see something round right here, but you can see plasma starting to dam up on the back side of this event. Whatever this is moving really slow. Plasma is streaming out and going around it faster than it's moving out. Let me just jump around too much. Okay, you can see this backside right here, plasma coming up against the backside of this right here, damming up. Something else going on up here. Whatever that is. No, previous. What is going on here? Okay, I'm going to put that back into motion there. And we'll slow it down just a tad bit because there is a lot going on there. So then just let it run for a minute. Let your eyes kind of look at everything that's going on. And then give your mind a minute to wrap your mind around what you're looking at, okay? We do a lot of reality checks on this show. And sometimes you see stuff and you're like, oh, yeah, yep, no problem. I see it. But did it sink in? Did it sink in? Did the effects, Okay, it's not supposed to scare you either. All right, these are signs in the sun that were promised in the Bible 2,000 years ago. These are the signs in the sun that we're looking at. All right, when we're in this time frame, okay, anything that happens around the sun is a sign. Okay, anything that's happening around the moon is a sign. There are all kinds of signs in the stars too. Configurations, star alignments, dates, not dates per se, but they're landing on dates, and it's like a time clock, like a prophetic time clock, and we're seeing this clock unfold here around the sun as well. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to be back here in just a second. So let's get on over to the solar ham here. I love you guys. I see you in the chat there having a blast. So good. You should really take advantage of good times now while we got them, right? All right, let's pull up real quick here. Hold up. You see, here's our GOES X-ray flux for the day. All right, you saw our events. You saw our long duration events, but not so much on this graph because it didn't, well, this instrument's in between us and the sun. Some of that activity could have been heading away. All right, but now you see right on the cusp of the date line right there, it's a little spike, and then some little activity here. This was barely M class. Look, any of this is just very barely M class. Our solar flux indice, here, we're too zoomed in, is at 166 and it's dropped 7 points. So overall, we've dropped some. So any activity off the sun is, well, it's got a lot of work to do to get up to X class. See what I'm saying? We're way down here, just above the sea floor. Okay, just kind of hovering around there. Now, there's some activity right here that goes into tomorrow. Would you like to take a peek at this? No, I know it looks boring and everything, but wait until you see what happened. Nah, we're not going to go look. Never mind. You don't want to see it. Okay, this is the 6th. Now we're going 25 frames deep into the 6th right here. And you can see this event still unfolding right here. Look at this spread right here. Ooh, see this flow right there? Something back in here. All right, we're going to have to watch closely here. There's something going on right there. Give me the pause button. Help me, Lord. My hand is numb and I can't feel the mouse. I think right there. Maybe back up. Ow. Okay, right about. You can see it unfolding. I'm just like looking for the best frame. Well, there's our last frame. Our object looks to be like right about in here. All right, and you can see the flow kind of going over the top of it and then dissipating the rest of the spheres on the back side of this white line. All right, and then you see this next flow coming out to go around it. Or it could be right here. It's tough to see, but over here we see a little dark patch in here. So let's just keep kind of going. That's the last frame? Yeah, it is. Ooh, it might be right in there. I don't know. Let's play that. Just put it in motion there. Something in this region. Okay, see that dividing line right there, that pinch off right there? There's something going on right there. I have a feeling this secondary and third CME are reaching out to this object that's right in that vicinity. In fact, right here, you kind of see a moon or a satellite of it. Right. These little moons right here, can you see those? Let me back. Ooh, that's kind of good right there. These two little satellites right here to probably a bigger object right in there. You're like looking at a solar system from far away. Here, watch this. I bet it'll work. Ooh, just might work a little bit here. Okay, right dimension for you guys. Nope, right there. Dude, that's probably right about as far as we can. Okay, Here's your bigger planetary object. Little satellite, little satellite, little satellite. Can you see this little system right here? And that's why the plasma's this white line's right here. After it goes over the top of it, kind of dissipates, and see how this is all feathering out like this. There's your planetary system right there. Okay, it looks like there's another little moon or something maybe right there too. Maybe we shouldn't have looked, huh? Oh well. Stuff here, stuff flying around here. This thing could have had, several little satellites with it, and then it interacts with the magnetic field. It has a magnetic field too, and they act like bumper cars. Eventually get so close that they repel each other, and then it magnetically locks onto some of the little ones, ripping them away as this whole system tries to move past the sun and interact with it. Some of the magnetic field lines interact and pull some satellites away. Perfectly round sphere right there. Well, almost kind of egg shape right there. You see that one? All kinds of weird activity going on in there. All right, so let's come back to our solar ham here, back on out, and get back to our solar report. Okay, so our solar flux index is down 7 more points, so it's down to 166. We're still in the yellow, but we're approaching the sea floor, the bottom of the sea range. Our sunspot number count is down to 111. We dropped 2 more sunspots, so that's good. We're in the green range. Our area, we're in the green. That's all good. Let's just pop this open. I'm really not a big sunspot guy, but now they are becoming such a factor anymore that we have to report on this now. So this region right here, red and blue, really close, beta, gamma, possibly delta configuration, pretty close there on 3733. Notice the 3 3s and the 7. All right, so there's your sunspot configuration that we're most concerned about. There's this little guy rotating into view as well, but nothing to really write home about right now. So where are we? One more click. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you for your patience. Now back to our geomagnetic forecast. Okay, nice and clear for the next 3 days. That could change. We saw an event that was coming out from the south, kind of heading our way yesterday, that would be here on the 7th. Okay, so let's just watch closely. Hopefully it's going the different direction, and any object that was associated would be going in a similar trajectory, not interfacing with our magnetic field. Puh. Now, X flare potential 5%, C99, M35. Your moon phase is 1% illumination. It kind of sounds like our society. 1% illumination. You guys being the 1% who are illuminated by the moon. The one that brings light in the darkness. So here's our 3920 or 3729 beta gamma. The 3733, that big tight configuration we were seeing, they're reporting just beta. Now I'm wondering if maybe they got these two mixed up or something, but it's beta and growing. So beta gamma, maybe that last configuration looked way tighter than 3729 did. More concerning, at least, than this one. Okay. Aurora is very light right now. You can see our KP. We were up at 3 right here, and we had a couple of bars of 3. We had this whole chunk from this 3 over. That's a little bit of absorption right there. We took on a little bit of energy. Nothing too major, okay? Nothing to write home about or get all upset about, right? But we did take on a little energy, and we're going to see consequences from that, okay? So, good evening. Solar activity in the past 24 hours has nearly reached moderate levels with a number of mid to upper C flares. detected off the southwest limb. Southwest limb. Okay, so little C flares popping out of that region. We'll have to watch that. Elsewhere, newly assigned sunspot region 3738 turned into view and appears to be growing. This region will be monitored as it continues to rotate into a better position. Old regions 12, 13, and 16 from the previous rotation are about 40 hours away from turning back into view, guys. Okay, here we go. Hopefully they're not so active. We will see what happens here. There's a lot of factors that are going on. Boy, I wish I could spell it all out for you, but you wouldn't believe it. So we'll just stick with the stuff you can comprehend. Now, back to this. We're still showing a CME heading away. That's good. They're not showing anything heading Earth directed. I want to take a peek at this other one. Showing an increase right there at Earth. So I'm going to pop this one open. We'll load this up and take a peek at it. Please, Lord, can we have this page? Give us just a sec here. It's coming. Okay, it's loading up there. I just want to see what's going on right around. See, we're talking the 7th before. So just talk about the spiral arm making impact like right there or something. They're not showing any kind of CME coming out of that event that was headed toward. It looked like it was headed towards this impact on the 7th. And we can go back and visit that one here again right before we get to the 7th there, all right? Meanwhile, let's get out of here. Let's go back, and I will do that right now since I got to... No. Comes off on, what happens on, or affects the Earth on the 7th, came off 3 days before on the 4th of July. Yes, we had fireworks on the 4th of July, but they were on the sun, too, as well. Speaking of 4th of July, this right here, okay, that might be coming, could be, sideswiping us. This event, well, there's that one right there, and then a secondary one. Okay, so we could get a double pick possibly on the 7th. Hopefully those are aiming away, but look at these trajectories. When you look at these things, don't they look like they're kind of coming at us, heading towards this out in front of us? I wish we had stereo A at a different angle so I could do some measurements and I could tell you what direction this is heading. Since the scientific community won't kind of come out, really. Or when they do, sometimes we have issues with their information. So that event that we saw is what I'm thinking could spark something here on the 7th, all right? And then we saw that little blob or whatever coming towards us on the 7th. So that'll, if we do have any kind of geomagnetic impact on the 7th, it would affect the weather, enhancing the weather some as well. Okay, I think we're done. Did I carve it up and serve it? Good, let's move on. Okay, quiet weekend with no CMEs heading for Earth. Geomagnetic storms are unlikely for the next 3 days. Quiet conditions should persist through the holiday. Okay, good. We saw the Firefly punch a hole in the ionosphere. I think you guys are knowing what's going on. You're going to see all kinds of launches. I think you know why. I really want to pull up Schumann, and it was jamming up the computer. So maybe we'll do that towards the end, okay? Really? I can try it? Let me try it then. Okay. You see we had our little grinding session right there, came out of it. There's a little bit of weakness right there. You see how it got faint right there? A little grinding right in there. A little weakness right there, kind of coming back, getting weak. So if you guys have been feeling drained, weak, tired, sore, irritable, well, it's not just you. You got other factors that are playing in that you don't know about or that you don't sense. Well, you do sense it. You're reacting to it. So you don't know that you're sensing something and you're reacting to it, okay? And not even just factors in life, but this uncontrollable factor here can catch you off guard. If you're having a bad day and then you get a low point like this, you snap on somebody. You take your frustrations out on the wrong person and say the wrong thing or whatever, right? So we do a lot of spiritual work to fix all kinds of situations, especially when we have factors like this going on in the shadows that affect you at times that you're not aware of until later on when you come over here and you look, oh, well, now it makes sense. 4 hours ago, yep, that was when it happened or whatever, okay? So this is also an indicator of our pressure down below. We had some pressure, it got relieved, it built up, another release, got a little weak, okay? We had a little pressure build up again, tapered off pretty evenly, got a little slow. Here's this little faint line going right through there. But even though we cut, it still crosses through it, okay? So we had a little weak moment right somewhere in there, but the 7.83 still kept strong right through that little band, and then a little weakening right here. So our latest conditions, we're coming out of a little weak session, getting back to some continuity, okay? Wait until you see real continuity, not this chaos that we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Not per se here, but in our society. Okay, so let's get out of the human because it was jamming things up. Now we can come over, get to our not a vortex, but our upper jet stream. Okay, and it's all over the place. You see how wonky it is up here at the top of the planet? Let me just let that play for a second. That's your upper jet stream right now, just all over the place. You got two vortexes going on up the top, but this is your higher bands of air way up high in the upper jet. Okay, now let's come back down. I'm kind of making a point. I want you to see look at this. That's way up in the upper jet, though. So I want you to see how the upper jet stream and the lower jet stream aren't really controlling our weather as much anymore. They're actually following now the lower currents, reaching up to the jet streams and controlling them. Now, as we go back down, there's your lower jet. You see a little correlation. Let me show you this storm out here kind of winding around, okay? Now, as we lower down to our storm level, boom, here's our storm. Okay, another like cutoff low or whatever being pinched off here. This whole monster being its own little rotation right there. Is that the Geico lizard? With eyes and little nose in his mouth. Geico. Now, just you see this pull going up into this region. We still got circulation double backing here. Hot water in this region creates severe conditions on the backside here. Somebody's in hot water. Okay. North Korea, you guys just better treat your people better and get on board. Where else am I going? Our storm in the Caribbean. There's the surface. Okay. Not too strong at the surface. That's good. More of the strength is up here. It's a higher elevation. So that's good. It kind of lost strength. It went across land. It's hitting that cold patch that's right here on the tip of the Yucatan right now. It's sucking up cooler water. So it's not convecting very well. And it's at nighttime. going over cooler water that's really going to like punch this thing in the gut and take a lot of oomph out of it, okay? We still have a lot of hot water in between here and the Gulf. It can, grow during the day tomorrow before making landfall on the 7th. Now, if we have geomagnetic activity on the 7th, when this makes landfall, it could enhance that too as well, all right? But for right now, it's lost a lot of its sting. That's good. Let's hopefully that cold water plume is gonna, deaden this a little bit. So when its impact is not a category 5 or even worse. Okay, so there's our storm activity. At the meantime, now what we're gonna do is come over here to our sandstorms, particulate. Okay, right down here in the corner, can you see this? DUEX, dust, extinction, aerosol. I know, it says extinction. What? Pretty trippy, huh? They put the word extinction in the dust particulate thing. Now, you see our wind patterns, how they're taking this sand, massive plumes. This thing is huge and it's dense. This is really going to cut off productivity as far as convective activity coming through here, because this conveyor belt thing was about to just start whipping out storm after storm after storm. Dude, it still has that potential if the sand we get a break in the sand. But right now, look at that plume. Wow. Look at this dividing jet of air. You got one vortex here, another vortex there, ripping sand out here. This is swirling around, making this big old plume right here. That's cutting off a lot of that hot water. That's where a lot of hurricane genesis happens out in this region. And you can see our vortex rotating here, right? Let me pull back one more. There we go. So here's our thermal produced vortex right here of flow, okay, controlling the weather. And it happens to just be pulling sand off of Africa, subduing our hurricane productivity. The grace of God right there. I mean, really. When we saw that one arm reaching out and like flexing like a muscle. Meantime, we got another plume heading up this way, going up across the Mediterranean, heading towards Europe, Italy, that whole region, okay? All of North Africa, just socked in sand, okay? Saudi Arabia having quite a little event going on here, as well as all the sand plume going into India now. So as if India doesn't have enough issues with their heat, their SO2 emissions, now they got Saudi sand and camel shit flying into their country. Sorry, that was kind of rude, but the smell goes with it, okay? If you've ever been over there, it's not the most pleasant smell in the world. Okay, another plume going off over the Gobi Desert. There's your sandstorms. Let's just double up the color real quick. Go to different particulate micron size. Come on over. It's still basically our sand plume. You can see the intensity of the red right here. So we got more dense. It's thicker plumage up here that's getting mixed into our region where our hurricane genesis is. Okay, so that's good. It's pulling a bunch of sand in here, throwing it right in the sandbox and creating a sandbox right here that'll hamper some of the hurricane genesis in that region. Capiche? Good. Let's move on to our chemicals. Ow. Forgive me. So embarrassing. All right. Here we go. Looking a little lighter through this region right there. Remember how it was all dark purple? Because when I go hold my thing up here, it's been all bleeding out on one side. But look. A lot of the plumage in this area right through here is all weak. You see that? And then even little flooding patches maybe through there, but it looks like we've seen a diminish in pressure through that part right in there, and then an increase in pressure over here. Look at this over by Lake Ontario here, or Lake Erie, and Huron up here. Okay, we're still seeing activity and plumes up here in Canada as well. All right, some of these are sparking fires as well. We got activity going down through Mexico, Cuba, the island of Jamaica. That's not SO2. They're just really stoned there. No, they have their own SO2 plume. And pray for the people of Jamaica. They just got slammed by this hurricane. That island will probably won't be the same for a while. Okay. And they still have SO2 emissions in their region. Okay. A lot of activity all through there. This area right here, we had a bunch of purple squares through there a while back, but after our big earthquake in the region, it's diminished. Okay. Our little fulcrum points are still pretty pronounced, though. All right. Down here, we got decent amount of pressure still, lots of SO2 coming out. You see the plume that it's pushing out into the Pacific there. And that relieves a lot of pressure along this plate boundary, okay? Keeping the giant magnitude earthquakes that happen along this plate structure right here, keeping them down to a minimum. So that's good. Our SO2 is helping ease the pressure from down below, okay? Okay, make a stop off in Hawaii. I need a vacation really bad. Oahu. Okay, we got some friends and family that live in the volcano on Oahu here, so it's doing a lot of the SO2 emissions here, so we don't have an eruption here on Oahu. That's where a lot of the population is on this island. Meanwhile, Maui's slight little bit, and then the main island having its emissions and earthquake and volcanic activity. And if the Pacific Rim were like a bicycle rim, right in the middle of the rim is a hub, and Hawaii would be the hub of the Pacific Rim. Okay, let's get over here to our. Let's back them up to their time zone, please. Thank you, Lord. A little dissipation and pressure over here. They still got some dark patches, but this whole area down here is lightened up a little bit. Okay, even in this region right in there. So they're seeing some nasty weather. The conditions over there are much more than what you see on your news. Okay, I showed you that EF4 tornado that went through their down one of their cities. Their ghost cities. Well, those tightly packed buildings. They're not necessarily ghost cities because there's people living in them, but yeah, we're gonna see large tornadoes hitting populated areas here in the future. We're starting to see it now, but it's over in China. A lot of activity around Saudi Arabia. They got flooded. There were so many places today that got hit. There's just like too many to cover. It's just there's too many places to cover. So we're just going to keep going with this. I'll let you guys kind of do your own research on your own time to do all the news stories and stuff. I'll just stick with this. You can see we're still peppered around this region, all of Europe. Okay, these two ones up here that I was concerned about looks like they have dropped in intensity, and I want to see hour by hour. Good. So they are decreasing in intensity there. Okay. They're starting to play ball. They're starting to figure it out, and now they want to be friends with America. That'll ease the pressure on their country. That's if they do it right. If they play honestly. because they haven't been very honest lately. All right, back over to out of politics and back into the geomagnetic effects of the Earth. Our fulcrum point here at Taiwan, we're still seeing emissions from this island, so maybe we still need to have a quake in this region. We haven't seen anything in that region for a while, so we're seeing pressure and SO2 build up in there. There's a good little spot right opposite there on China. Okay, down here at the Purple Island of Java, we must be off by some kind of time schedule. Anyways, looking better. It's a little lighter. We still got a lot of emissions at this point right here by the Sun to Strait. And then over here, it's lightening up a little bit, but Sumatra has filled in. You see Malaysia filling in. It's got an intense spot at the tip and here. Okay, a lot of volcanoes and earthquakes along here. Look at these volcanic islands now off of Sumatra starting to emit SO2. Oh, maybe if I sit up better. Okay, so there's our SO2. Now let's back out of this and get to, okay. Anything else we can do before that? All right, just do it. All right, here we go with our sea surface temperature anomalies. Let's go now. July 3rd, 5 local time. Let's see if we can get a. Nope. So that is our closest data. All right. Our spot here has taken over as it's the main producer of heat right there on the earthquake map. That's right where we have our three-way junction. Let me just do this too real quick because we're going to have to start talking about this three-way junction right here, okay? You got your zipper of the planet, okay? It's a zipper, and lava likes to come up through it, all right? Then you have this plate boundary coming out from the Straits of Gibraltar out here and intersecting it, creating three plates. This one, and then this one off to the left. This three-way intersection right here is a weak spot. See the islands that are forming right off of it? Right around it here? This is where we're having huge emissions and Mike already talked about this, all right? Maybe not everybody listens to him or goes to that show, but underwater, we're talking about a jet of lava that's shooting out of the ocean floor like a fighter jet in Afterburner. Lava just squirting out at high velocity. Okay, it's not just like oozing out and making little tiny blobs like you see on the History Channel. This is shooting out of the ocean, squirting up through water columns. Disrupting water columns now, okay, and spreading out. It's going to make this big, huge heat patch right here. And you see it, it was small, and we had other heat over here, and it made a bigger, not as organized, but a bigger conveyor belt with a more centralized and a hotter central pocket that will it'll tighten up your rotation here. It won't be so broad. It'll tighten up much like a tornado does, okay? And now we put the wind back on. You'll see our new effect. Whoa, that's not it, dude. That was acid. We want the wind. All right. Just leave that there for a second and take a look. Actually, go right there. Okay. its own vortex right here, driving a looser, less organized conveyor belt system around the outside. We would be seeing one after another hurricane genesis here, all being subdued by sand and particulate matter. How long that'll last, we'll see. But it's a saving grace for us because this thing right here would generate devastation for America. See, there's not a bunch of sand blowing off America, diffusing the energy for them. And let me just point something out here. This water is going to be hotter in the North Atlantic than it is down here. So you're going to see Hurricane Genesis going around this. Okay. And unless we see a new perforation, because that could change everything. Okay. One little mouse fart changes a lot of stuff on a global scale. You don't think so, but it does. Now, one big hot spot right there has tightened up this whole vortex right here. It's kind of deadened this system, which is still pumping. Okay, it's still a conveyor belt. You still see the structure there. Okay, it's just getting diffused with sand. It's also getting weaker. Okay, this central tightening has done that effect. We have cold water inundation off the shore of Africa, which is going to kind of kill the Hurricane Genesis a tad bit. So that'll be a helping factor, at least as far as going this direction. I'm afraid we're going to start seeing Hurricane Genesis going into Europe, dude. And you see this vortex rotating up here. We got cold water rushing in. Okay, cold water wants to rush in when hot water's rising. So here's your cold feed causing a vortex. See this tight vortex right here? We're seeing pressure and heat build up underneath Iceland here. See that? And then up here a little bit as well is causing rotation like this, drawing this ice cold water from up here off the coast of Greenland into this warm area, vortexing it. Okay. That rotation matched up with this one makes a hot cocktail mix. Remember the cocktail mix I used to kind of talked about with the cold, two air masses merging? Look where it's heading at. England, Ireland, Europe, all that area right there. So they're going to start to see weather that we are used to seeing, hurricanes and stuff. That could be possible here. Some severe weather conditions setting up here that could get really, really ugly for them. They better get on board too. I mean, this map just screams volumes. If I put it on the SO2, there. I want you to look at certain areas and think biblically. Which religions do they believe in? Kind of see what I'm saying? All right, back to the water. Sorry, I get frustrated. Sacrifice just goes unrecognized. It's just... All right, keep moving. Put on the wind. Not the LSD, the wind. There you go. All right, now we have vortex activity going on over here in the Pacific. This big old heat plume right here is it's doing its thing. It's kind of getting diminished. Do you see this cold water intrusion coming through the straits, getting sucked down into here? Look at this big old arm of cold water that has reached down here and caused vorticity here, cause opposite vorticity here. This opposite vorticity, this anticyclonic, which is clockwise, see it going clockwise, is taking weather that would usually come on shore and go across the country and taking it right down the coast. Meanwhile, we're seeing these two vortexes here have shunted a lot of the energy up over and then down into Canada. All right, you see your flow coming down into here, and this is where we're seeing our cold air come in with this warm air off the Gulf, mixing right in the heart of the country. All right. This is looking a lot better. It was getting out of control there. This cold water inundation coming down from right here, this blue arm coming down, and here's some coming to the rescue over here. Look at this. Look at this. This is kind of putting out the fire around Japan here, or quenching the hot water plume a little bit. Meanwhile, we're still seeing heat in this region, driving severe weather kind of towards the backside of Japan. This rotation right here, licking stuff off of it, licking moisture up off of this ocean area and shoving it at Japan. Now, Taiwan here. You see this big area of yellow. Let me get the wind out of there now. Big area of yellow below it now. You see yellow increasing in this area. Coming off the backside here now, we're getting an increase in pressure around our relief valve. We need a good quake here. We might see a decent sized magnitude quake at the fulcrum point, path of least resistance right there. And we're getting in the yellow range. We're talking magnitude 6, possibly higher. We need a good release in that region right there. Wow, there was a hot little pocket. There was like a little vent right here that had a really intense yellow pocket. It's gone. We got cold water inundation going on there. There's only one place this cold water inundation's coming from. The only place that could be coming from. But it doesn't make sense. Another heat plume right there. Another little heat plume right there. Cold water inundation along the North African coast right there. You see just this one little spot of hot water right there. That's good. If this cold could meet up with that one and get rid of that little band and this band, wow, you'd really kill your Hurricane Genesis system right here. Really cold water coming out right here. Oh, stop. All right, that's good enough. Just put the winds back on there one more time and let you guys kind of see your latest wind pattern developments and what we're looking at still here with the hurricane. Let me get this on. Here's our latest wind patterns. So your hurricane's cleared the Yucatan. You see your cold water patch right here. Let's do that. All right. That cold water patch is getting smaller and smaller here. So this hurricane went over it kind of, right now it's picking up cooler water. See where the flow is going right over this cooler water, which is killing, they're weakening the storm. Okay. Now our flow patterns, see how they're kind of going this way and not so northernly. It's going to hit right at Corpus Christi. For a reason. Corpus Christi, the body of Christ. Okay, let's get on over to our earthquakes now because we got some different activity going on here. Drop into our deep quake, 4.4 down at 540, so mid-range 4, typical activity. Usually puts 5 energy at the surface. Nothing through there, nothing down there, nothing up through here. We have pressure release at that little island. Volcanoes all through here. We have a 4.6 down at 197. Possible, you see how we got volcanoes that grow on the flank of this mountain ridge right here. This is a mountain that's, the top of it's above the water. Get that out of there. So you see where these little volcanic islands form right along this ridge line? Bingo. Something forming down there. We might see a little vent open up possibly there. Little path of least resistance right there. Nothing up through that region. Very, very quiet all through there. Very scary quiet through there. Meanwhile, over here at Greece, we have a 4.1 at the surface. We're leaving energy there. Plate boundary quake. Coming up to Japan. Right here. 4.3 down at 50. 5.0. This is down 235. We got a feature here. Volcanic feature right there, just off the flank of it right there. Down at 235. Watch this. Watch out for activity around that. Okay, no Fulcrum Point quake, no quake at Taiwan. It's about time for Taiwan to get a warning of a 6 magnitude quake or something. They need pressure release in that area. And when it goes, it could go a little bit bigger with the yellow in that area, remember? Okay, now what we're going to do here, wait, let's finish off the rest of the globe really quick here. South America, 4 quakes, got 4.3 at 55, 4.4 at 132, 4.8 down at 201, and 4.8 at 98. There we go. Just quick check on magnitude here. 3.3, okay, they're still in the 3 range now. Okay, a lot of activity here in America, so we're going to go all magnitude for one day. Now, we had a couple of quakes here at the Juan de Fuca again. We'll get into that here in a minute. First, let's back up to here. All little micro-quaking, all little volcanic sites along the island range right there. Our latest activity, 2.0 magnitude up there, 2.2. Usually that would bring in something, 2.2 or, smaller. But now we're seeing a weak spot forming here and a lot of energy being released in this region. Here's a 5.0 down at 10 with a little tsunami alert, and a 4.0 down at 10. I want to see a tsunami alert, what their magnitude was real quick here. Please, Lord. Oh. Uh-oh. So they call it a 5. Okay. So they both agree. 5.0 at the surface, relieving energy at the surface. Really quick. While we're here, first let's do this. Just a little microquake activity right up in that region. You're seeing quake activity at Mount Rainier. Okay. Pressure down below. We see earthquake activity at volcanoes. Okay. Could be sign of a little eruption. It released a lot of energy is what it did. So it's not erupting. All right. We see activity at this volcano, Mount St. Helens here. Okay. Just off of that one is a 2.0. Okay, now before we get any deeper, I want to come back out here and visit the Juan de Fuca. Now, pay attention, everybody. We're going to do 7-day all magnitude here at the Juan de Fuca. Let's see what's happened at the Juan de Fuca over the course of a week. Shall we? Well. Looky here. That's quite a bit of activity out at the Juan de Fuca, I would say. A couple the bigger ones being 5.7 right there, and a 5.0 right there. Bunch of mid-range 4s. There's a 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. A lot of them on this plate. A few of them over on this plate. Mid-range 4s. Okay. All of that energy right there could have been, even this out here, that could have been you put all that into one quake, we could have seen a magnitude 8 or 9 out here with a tsunami that would have done, really bad damage. And what you're looking at is a release of pressure to keep that from happening. All right, everybody probably getting spooked. Oh my God, there's activity going on out here. Okay, it's good to be cautious and be aware. Yes, you could possibly still see a quake out here. We are seeing activity, but this is also relieving pressure in the region. Okay? For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, too. Guys, got to keep that in mind all the time. So that's basically why I wanted to kind of do the all magnitude. Over here by Yellowstone, some activity going on over here that people are getting concerned about as well. Okay, but I want you to think opposite equal reaction. This is relieving energy as well. Now, we got too many quakes on there. All I wanted to do was point out all those up at the Juan de Fuca over the course of a week. Now, back to 1 day all magnitude. Okay, here we are back at the Juan de Fuca. Today we had the 5.0 at 10 and the 4.0 at 10. Relieving more energy. You had the 4 and the 5, that's a 9. Whoa. You just had a 9 split in half. Think of it that way. Oh, okay. Oh, it didn't do any damage. So basically, 9's worth of energy got diffused with a 5 and a 4. That's how we do it. That's how I like it. All right. Because if it doesn't, it'll just be catastrophic. All right. Give me a second here. Oh, I think I'm sitting in a bad position. Cutting off the circulation to my brain. Back to our microquake activity coming in at our fulcrum point. Okay, comes down, doesn't like to change direction, so go inland a little bit. Perfect. This little spot, 1.6, perfect. The geysers, microquaking out, relieving energy, perfect. It cuts down the intensity as it comes into the Hayward fault system, keeping stuff down to a minimum, down to like this. Also relieving energy along the plate boundary, called the San Andreas is a plate boundary, right? Good. We're seeing microquaking, relieving energy in that area. Perfect. This is how it's supposed to work. Good little flurry of microquakes there, relieving energy. 3.1 out here in White Sands, or White City, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I want to, that's Oklahoma, I think, yeah. Nothing over here. It's New Madrid. Everybody can breathe a sigh of relief there. A lot of the SO2 emissions that we're seeing out of this half of the country, do you see there's not many quakes over here? So we're seeing SO2 emissions relieve pressure over here on the craton, okay? Outside the craton, we see pressure relieved in the form of earthquakes. Get it? Got it? Good. Let's dive in really quick. Yep, good. Little little 119s, 2s, 17s, little microquake activity doing good there. Even on the flank of the volcano, relieving pressure around it. That's good. 2.4 right there. Not much, but that's still little bits of energy. Add them all up. Keeps a big old lava, plume from coming out of there and starting the island on fire or anything like that, right? Okay, so there's your earthquake report. Get her done. Let's get out of that. Get out of that. Get out of that. Open up a volcano report. Take a sip of my soda. All right, 33 erupting, 28 in warning, 61 volcanoes. Like I keep saying, if I told you 5-10 years ago we'd have 61 erupting volcanoes, you'd tell me you're crazy. Here we are, 61 active volcanoes, and I'm still crazy. Let's get into it. Crazy for you. Crazy for you. All right, here we go. Everybody take a deep breath. Maybe later. Karaminski, here we go. 12,000 feet out of our new little player on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Karaminski is doing pretty well, pumping out 12,000 foot blast. That's pressure being relieved, huh? Mm-hmm. Samaru maxing at 15, so we know pressure's right there at the max when we see 15 out of Samaru. Dukono pushes 9 at its max, so it's pushing its maximum. Santo Guido, Novier, Fuego, probably 6,000 or 7,000. Reventador, 15,000. That's a good little blast out of Reventador there, and that was for the 6th. Now let's get into today, which is now yesterday. A lot of red on this map. You see all these active volcanoes over here. Orange ones are active. They're minor activity, but they're root word active. Okay? All of these are active. These ones are in eruption. Okay? You see all of this red going on above the water, on the surface. Well, below the water is still the surface of the planet. It just has water over it. So if we're seeing this activity at the surface, we're seeing that activity on the ocean floor as well. Okay? They're seeing the Pacific Ocean light up at night. How disturbing would that be when you're flying over and you just look down and you're like, thank you, Lord, for having my back, huh? Stromboli, 7,000 meter elevation yesterday. What? Effusive vent at around 7,000 meter elevation. Okay. Magma pushed itself outward laterally, not vertically, but laterally. So its path of least resistance, the thing's plugged up. There's a plug in its main vent, and it's trying to push up so hard that it can't get that plug out of there, and then it squirts out the side. Interesting. Lateral eruptions of magma can happen. All right. So just because you live on the side of a volcano and you think it's going to erupt straight up in the air, no, you could get a fissure on the side of it and just have lava squirt out of it laterally, which we'll entertain in the future here. I pray I'm wrong, but if we just get people's attention and get them on board, I could really turn this around. I really can. Particular video of a large pyroclastic flow, a hot turbulent avalanche. Yeah, we saw. Okay, now let's get back to business. Etna over here is coming back to life. Everybody in Italy, you guys really need to listen to Mike. He's trying to do the best he can to warn you. Get out of there. That place is just going to be a burning open pit someday. And there won't be anything. You won't be able to live there. You'll have no choice but to evacuate. unless we see stuff like this at Karaminski continuing to push out 12,000 foot blasts, and we see all these other ones that are, interruption continuing to vent a lot of pressure, we could see magma shifts under the ground and relieve pressure in one region and it shift and flow to another region. Okay, so that potential's out there. Back to you and me, IBU, Ibu, 17,000 feet, another big explosion there. Luatobi, 10,000, Semeru pumping its max 15, Marapi on the island of Sumatra, 13,000, sorry. Dukono pumping its maximum at 9, Popocatépetl next to Mexico City, 19,000 foot blast. Probably a little unnerving for those people in that city. Santa Guido, 14,000. Fuego here, 15,000. A lot of, mid-teen thousands here. Reventador, 14. And Sabancaya with a 24. All right. These lists are insane. Okay. They're so mundane here at this show. We go over it every night. But these are currently erupting. Repeat after me. Currently erupting. Barren Island, Bizamani, Dukono, Ebico, Erebus, Ale, Etna, Fernandina, Fuego, Home Reef, Ibu, Krakatau in the Sunda Straits. The used to be Krakatoa. That's the one that darkened the planet for a couple of years. That's one we need to watch carefully. Luatobi, Luatolo, Marapi, Masaya, Mirapi, Michael, just on and on and on and on and on. These are all potential. They're active. Minor activity means active. Any one of these could go, ballistic with the increase in pressure. Any kind of blast absorbed by the sun is going to cause a burp from down below to come up to the surface in the form of pressure, magma, earthquakes, blah, blah, blah. Our weather, off the hook weather now. We're seeing a lot of side effects from all of this ash going into the air, all of the humidity adding more moisture content to the air. You mix particulates with moisture, you get raindrop. So the more particulates and the more moisture, the more rain we're going to see out of our storms. Our storms are producing flash flooding. They're producing large hail, severe tornadoes, you name it. Okay. All because of, many factors now. And then we also have the spiritual realm interacting. I showed you the spherical, not necessarily object, but the spherical electromagnetic effect of the controlling of the weather with the spherical type shaped storm formations. And they're doing different things. They're firing up weather, subduing weather. They'll get behind a storm and push it and make it go a little faster, change direction. When I watched over a course of some time, just sat there and watched the radar app for a while, not trying to record anything. I've already recorded enough, but just sitting there focusing and studying and watching these spheroid activity. They move like chess pieces. They're manipulating and controlling the weather. It's not man. I can actually see, I saw some strange activity. The spheroid is driving a storm, right? Like we've seen before. And then I see out of our radar sights, man shooting back, shooting like at the storm front, shooting at the spheroid type effect that's going on, trying to diminish an intensifying storm. So we are seeing a back and forth. And when I see a back and forth, that tells me the fourth is not the same who's retaliating back. So there's two different factors going on. Kind of weather wars type thing. Now, I let that play. Weather is so unpredictable, so volatile now with all of our factors added in that this makes it very hard to predict. So we're just going to plug away anyways. Current conditions, nighttime of the 5th. Here we go. Morning of the 6th. Noon, convection, nighttime. Nighttime. Okay, here we go. Morning of the 7th. If we have geomagnetic effects, hopefully not. They're saying all clear. Hopefully it is. We'll see if any kind of interaction, any kind of wrong trajectory, and something brushes our magnetic field or does any kind of exciting of the weather. Okay, it'll be starting right here, the morning of the 7th. So possible enhancement right there as we make landfall at noon. Enhancement possibly, but it's 998 millibar, which is pretty weak. It's almost a Cat 1, but then loses power as it hits the shore at convection. Usually it'd be gaining strength at convection, but kind of losing oomph there. Let's pray that continues. Nighttime, it goes back up in a little bit. Now you see the moisture that's pushed out in front of it, okay? Ow. Last time we saw it suck its own moisture back into it and collide. So we're still seeing this collision, and the severe weather effect that was happening up here is still, it's changed to this a little bit right here, the nighttime of the 7th. 3 little pockets plus this making landfall. Look out along here as well. Let's hope that there's no geomagnetic storm effects adding to this, all right? Let's pray that doesn't happen. I would much rather have that not happen, okay? I don't like being right. I like when things work. All right, night of the 7th. Here we go. Morning of the 8th. Now, intensifying on the shore right there. Noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 9th. Noon, convection, nighttime. You see, we're only like 3 or 4 days in, and we're already starting to lose our accuracy. So here we go. Morning of the 10th, lots of accuracy, but here we go anyways. Morning of the 10th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 11th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. 13, noon, convection, nighttime. 14, noon, convection, nighttime. 15, noon, convection, nighttime. 16, noon, convection, nighttime. 17, noon, convection, nighttime. 18, convection, nighttime. 19, convection, nighttime. 20, convection, nighttime. 21, convection. All right. So there we go. Our main concerns are this storm, when it makes landfall, going up into Texas right through there. All right. So everybody get ready. Prepare, batten down the hatches, clear your drains, your storm drains and your roads, learn how to manage and deviate water, make it deviate and take different paths, your paths of least resistance, so you can funnel water, direct it, and, avoid a lot of, when flash flooding does happen, you can hinder its effects a lot by clearing the leaves from the storm drains. You got logs that are blocking little dried up creek beds, in your back 40. Go clear out the debris in the creek beds, so if water goes through there, it's not going to jam things up, right? Water flow management. Gotta think responsibly here too, okay? But it's looking a lot better. All in all, look how much clearer it is considering our thermal convection productivity out in the oceans. This hurricane hitting could have been a lot worse. All right, that's pretty bad right there. It's going to do a lot of damage. Everybody get ready, brace for impact. Prepare, do what you got to do. evacuate or whatever too. I know not everybody can, but if I could, when I see stuff coming and I know I can get out of there, I get out of there. A lot of people like to be looky-loos and hang around. Ooh, I want to hear the wind howl. Oh, you'll hear it howl, and then you'll wish you hadn't. Okay, there's your weather. There was your whole report, your astrophysics, your geophysics, and now it's time to get on to the metaphysics. The spiritual report did a much needed spiritual report because of all the disturbing things that are going on. And we can't let that get to us and let them be disturbing. All right. Eventually, I'll have to lose that term. Okay. And we'll start talking about things from the proper perspective, not from the wrong perspective. Things that used to worry you should excite you. You see biblical signs happening, it should, well, it does scare people. It can scare people. It is scary. It's understandable, but it can also bring peace and relief as well. These are real images, okay? Real pictures I took. Quite a painful experience to hold my camera up for this long, to take these images over the course of time. Okay, you see the little lion face right there. Oh, I wanted to do all that. We're gonna have to do a whole show where I just do all spiritual stuff. Okay, where we don't do a regular solar report, where we can just do a whole show on spiritual stuff. I can explain a lot of. Well, we can connect the dots, explain what happened to me during this whole process, because it's been a process and it's been like physically happening to me. See, revelation is happening all around you guys, but it's physically happening to me. It's just so different. It's just, I can't explain it. So much more intense, painful. All right, just some cool little images to look at here. All right, kind of show you I'm taking real pictures of real clouds. Okay, this isn't like CGI or Photoshop. Okay, that's the most important part that you need to get through your head, is that these are real images. These are real miracles. On Easter, 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. Also, we're going to pull up this one as well. I talked to guys about how I had all this, activity following me everywhere I go. Since I was a kid, I had UFOs follow me. And so paranormal activity wasn't, outside the realm for me. And then when this stuff started happening to me, I was like, well, since nobody's going to believe me, I'm just going to document all of it. See what you have to say then. And still, everybody can still deny it or whatever, but I'm just trying to give you my testimony. Okay, this is my testimony. This is what happened to me. All right. And eventually all the faces in the clouds start changing, and now it starts showing my face. Come on, please. There we go. All right. Beginning of this video, I'm seeing this little face form here in the sky. So I'm taking pictures of that face right there. And it's not till later I realize, wait a second, that's my face. What the heck is, the clouds are making my face now? And you can make out a little crown up here starting to form. All right. And I'm like, what? Why is it making my face in the clouds with a crown? It wasn't until I looked back behind this face that it was being produced by Jesus's heart here. He's pulling open his shirt. Let me scroll right there, maybe. All right. Here's a good image. You can see him pulling open his shirt. like Superman does. He pulls open his shirt and there's a big S hiding under there. Yeah, our Lord pulls his shirt open, exposing his heart. He is Superman. Okay? That's the real Superman, the one who can fly, the one who has X-ray vision. Oh, all those qualities that Superman has were stolen from this man right here. Did you know that? Think about it. The ability to fly, bend steel, do all this stuff. Yeah, those are all qualities that this man right here, Jesus, has, not Superman. All right. Very important that you understand the spiritual realm, all this stuff that's happening in the clouds, okay, your weather, everything, all coming from right here, isn't it? Everything in the clouds, even the regular clouds that aren't making faces, there's still clouds in the air, aren't they? Yep, all because of that right there. Everything is centered around that heart right there, okay? Important that you understand that. Okay, so we got theater mode. We kind of see it there. Where's it a tad bit bigger? I guess maybe we'll leave it right there until we go doing some reading. All right, good. Got down to the last few people here. Let me get my notes out here. Got some good stuff for you guys. So get in your spot, curl up, do your thing, take some deep breaths. Okay, a little meditation on the Lord's Word here too. It's time to relax, unwind, realize that you are safe and sound. You're going to be okay. It's everybody else that hasn't figured this out yet that's not going to be all right. Okay? And that can be concerning too. That can cause anxiety when you have loved ones that you want them to know and they're still resistant. I know. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get into this here. So we're talking about praying, and we're working on your issues that you have, scars from the past, tragic events, scarring events that we're praying about and trying to heal those. All right, and we're practicing our prayers, and something that's important when you're praying, and a lot of people got to kind of figure this out. Many people are selective about what parts of themselves they bring to me in prayer. So you're selective of the good parts, but I want the rough stuff, okay? That we're working on the rough stuff. What good is it praying about all the some stuff, okay? So many people are selective about which parts of themselves, okay? We're talking about the part of yourself that you bring to me in prayer. Which parts do you think I want to help you with? The ones that need help, or the parts that don't need any fixing? So, quit being selective about bringing me the stuff that doesn't need fixing. Bring me the stuff that needs fixing, that you need help with. So don't be selective about what part of yourself you bring to me. Bring me the raw stuff, okay? I already know. It's just for your mental health. The moment you confess it to yourself, you realize, oh, I put myself in that position. Maybe I'm not as smart as I thought I was, right? Okay, so it's a humbling practice as well. So don't be selective about what parts of yourself you bring to me. Bring me everything. Okay, even the nasty, dirty parts. Okay, that's the stuff we got to work on, right? Now, some hesitate to approach me about traits they consider shameful or embarrassing. Now, everybody has these own traits, right? And some of them are shameful. Some of them are embarrassing. Okay, I have issues walking. It hurts. Okay. Sometimes my leg will give out. I get a sharp pain in my sciatic nerve, and my leg will get weak, and it won't hold my weight for a step there. And I'll kind of stumble a little bit, and people see that, and are you okay? So it's embarrassing. I don't like people drawing attention, and it can be embarrassing. Okay. So I know about shameful and embarrassing traits. I got lots of them myself. Okay. And I work on mine. You gonna work on yours. Okay. So quit being so selective about what part of yourself you bring to me in prayer. Don't hesitate to approach me about the traits that you consider shameful and embarrassing. Others are so used to living with painful feelings, loneliness, fear, guilt, and shame that it never occurs to them to ask for help in dealing with it, in dealing with those things. Ask for help in dealing with your loneliness. Ask for help in dealing with your fear. Help dealing with your guilt, dealing with your shame. It never occurs to some people to ask for help in dealing with those things. What the heck are we working on in the first place? That's what we're working on, those things. The things that are broken that need fixing. Get out of there, warning. I need protection from you guys. That's who I need protection from, is from that thing, all right? Okay, you guys are seeing these images good. Here, let's change it up there. I want you to see this heart here for a minute while I continue reading. I want you to think about when you seek my face, what it means, okay? You're seeking my face. Now you're starting to see my face show up in the clouds with a crown over it. Much like you see my face in the clouds with a crown over it, okay? This happens all around me now, wherever I go. On cloudy days, not always on a clear days, there are, clouds there. But, Lord, please help me come back. God, so many tangents go on in my head. It's hard to stay focused. And when you're in pain. So, I'm kind of doing some of my shameful, embarrassing admissions right here on the show as well. So, most people are used to living with their painful feelings of loneliness, fear, guilt, and shame. It never occurs to them to ask for help in dealing with those things. Still, others get so preoccupied with their struggles that they forget I'm even here. They're so caught up in their struggles, they don't even know I'm here. They forget I'm even here. But this is not my way for you here at this channel, even in replay, okay? This is not my way for you. Okay, there are parts in you that are hurting, all right? These painful feelings, these embarrassing guilt, shame, all those painful feelings are the hurting parts of you that I desire to heal. See, I want to heal those parts of you, okay? So those hurting parts of you, your loneliness, fear, guilt, shame, I desire to heal that. And some of them have been with you for so long that you consider them facets of your identity. Oh, we have a huge problem because everybody has used these as facets of their identity. Oh, I identify as the victim. Oh, it's been like this, and oh, poor me, and oh, nobody likes me, and oh, right? I desire to heal those parts of you too. Some of these issues have been with you so long, you consider them, these issues, facets of your identity. You got to stop doing that right now. You are a child of God. You are not a facet of your identity isn't a facet of your loneliness. You can get rid of all of that now. All those hurting parts can go away, and you can be a child of God instead of considering all of your painful feelings as your identity. Quit doing your painful feelings as identity. So what? Pull up your bootstraps, grow a pair, and let's grow a real identity. Okay? All of these ones you've been holding on to for so long, let go of that crap because you consider it a facet of your identity. Okay? These hurtful feelings, all this loneliness, guilt, fear, shame, you carry them with you wherever you go, barely aware of their impact on your life. You don't even know that they have the damaging impacts. Huge. Cut your life short because of all your stress and all your painful feelings and stuff, right? So, quit with the long ones that you've been carrying so long that you consider them facets of your identity, and quit with the wherever you go, carrying them wherever you go, because you're not even aware of the impact they have on your life, which is devastating. I want to help you learn to walk in freedom, okay? In freedom. You are so addicted to certain painful patterns that it will take time to break free from them, okay? The society has gotten you so addicted to certain painful patterns, like watching the news. You know what a painful pattern of watching the news is? When there's a plane crash and it's just a small Cessna and only 2 people died, it's boring. Ugh, God. Tell me about the 747 that collided with another one on the runway and killed 800 people. Now we're talking, right? The body count. The body count. All we're into the news for is the body count. What about the people who, all their pain and what they went through? We don't care because we're addicted to certain painful patterns. We get up in the morning and tune right into them, huh? Right into that painful pattern. Let's get stressed out about the latest topic that's going to ruin the day, right? Here's an idea. Don't look at your phone until 5 o'clock. Don't look at any news until 5 o'clock. Oh, so addicted to those painful patterns. Most of you, and you don't know this, I'm trying to break it to you nicely. You're so addicted to these patterns, these, how do I put this, Lord? I got to do it right, so I want it from you. All right, say it like it is then. Okay, I'm going to try to just say it like it is. Everybody on this planet is so addicted to painful patterns that it's going to take time to break this world free from them. Not just you, this whole world. We have a sick, demented world, totally off kilter, so addicted to painful patterns that they thrive on their loneliness, fear, guilt, and shame, and then make it their identity. How sickening, isn't it? But with me, it might take time to break free from these patterns, but you can do it here. We can do it pretty quick here if you're paying attention and you trust me, okay? Now, there's like only one way to break free from this addiction of being of loving these painful patterns, okay? Only repeatedly exposing them to my loving presence will bring you long-term healing and relief from them. So you have to repeatedly expose them to me. That means confess them. Lord, I love the body count on CNN. Go ahead, say it. I love the body count when this happens. Why am I fascinated with somebody else's pain and suffering? Then you start to think about it, and it changes your way you're thinking, right? You're breaking free from those painful patterns into good patterns, beautiful ways of thinking, higher ways of thinking, actually being conscious. Because you guys, most of the society is unconscious. They think they're aware. Nope. Like a bunch of zombies walking around unconscious. The lights are on, but nobody's home. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to help you break free from those patterns, and I want to help you learn to walk in freedom. Okay? Only repeatedly exposing your patterns to my loving presence will bring you long-term healing. Now, as you grow increasingly free, you'll be released to experience my joy in greater and greater measure. You guys are getting there. You're starting to experience this joy in greater and greater measure because you're releasing it to me. As you're growing increasingly free, you'll be released to experience my joy in greater measure, which by repeatedly exposing your problems to my loving presence. It's the long-term healing. In that long-term healing, you grow increasingly free. And then you're released to experience my joy, my love, in greater and greater measure. You're going to put these things into practice and see results, and then come back to the show and then hear another one and put that into practice and see results, and then come back to the show, and you will see my joy. You will experience my joy in greater and greater measure as we work the steps, as we get closer and closer to that spiritual awakening that transcends everything, all your peace and your joy. Ooh, did I pick the big stack or what? Okay. Here, I'm gonna need another sip here. You guys hanging in there? Here we are. It's good. Here we go. Now, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. So sometimes you feel bombarded with all the bad things that are happening in the world. The news reports are alarming, and people are calling evil good and good evil, aren't they? All of this can be overwhelming unless you stay in communication with me. If you don't, it's going to be overwhelming. It already is. You better start staying in communication with me so you won't be overwhelmed. And I'm saddened but not surprised by the horrors that you see around you. I know fully the deceitful, wicked condition of the human heart. Oops. What is your problem? I said full screen. Part about full screen return. The human heart, as opposed to a pure heart. Okay? So I know the conditions of the human heart. I know fully well this wicked and deceitful world. Okay? I know that you like the body count on the news. You have that predisposed to the liking the negative part, the aspects. Okay? Now, unless people are redeemed through saving faith in me, their potential for doing wrong is unlimited. So if you're stuck in that evil mindset and all of your loneliness, fear, guilt, and shame become your identity, you will call evil good and good evil. You will be overwhelmed by the deceitful and wicked conditions of the human heart. And unless people are redeemed through saving faith in me. Okay. Now that's the, having faith, practicing these principles, seeing them work, seeing them apply, how they apply really, and make you grow their potential. You see their potential, okay? Then you're redeemed. But unless people are redeemed through saving faith in me, their potential for doing wrong is unlimited. So, without me, your potential to go out and kill and do wrong and steal, and it's right there. It's like the only thing that keeps you being a good boy or a good girl is me, is my presence. You know that you're going to be in trouble. So you're redeemed through your saving faith in me. Your potential for doing wrong has been limited a little bit, okay? Where other people, their potential for doing wrong is unlimited. They don't see it as wrong. You see that? You see it as wrong. They don't. So their potential for doing wrong is unlimited, where your potential for doing wrong is limited because you know it's wrong, right? So instead of being disheartened by the condition of the world, I want you guys, as my followers, to be lights shining in the darkness. So when evil appears to be winning, be more determined than ever to accomplish something good. Ah, there we go. Accomplish something good. Evil is all over the place. When evil appears, how could you not be surrounded by it right now, right? So, evil has appeared. When evil appears to be winning, be more determined to accomplish something good. Determination. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. I want you guys to be determined. It's a measure of your determination, because evil appears to be winning. And when evil appears to be winning, you need to be more determined than ever to accomplish something good. And you know what the something good is. You'll know it. Dude at the traffic light needed a buck, and you threw him some change. Oh, we did something good there. That guy needed that change. Held the door open for somebody who was disabled or couldn't, didn't have a free hand. Be more determined to accomplish something good. If we could get the whole world to get on this page and be more determined to do something good, we wouldn't all die by glowing in the dark at the end. If we could get these clowns, these world leaders that are a bunch of evil appearing to be winning, it makes me more determined than ever. I'll tell you what, it makes me so fucking determined than ever that I go out and I accomplish. I just go get them. Because I know that's how you fight evil, is by doing good things. Whole world needs to get on board and be more determined than ever to accomplish something good before you all kill yourselves. Freaking bozos. Oh, sorry, I'm just so frustrated. I have to get up every morning and shattered and put myself back together because of this planet and all the... Okay, back to business. Again, I have to repeat, when evil appears to be winning, you need to be more determined than ever to accomplish something good. That is your salvation work day in and day out. You're having a bad day, you gotta salvage that. Be determined to salvage it. It might fight back even harder, but you got to be determined to accomplish something good. We are getting close to the finish line, right? You see what we're doing here. You can go out while there's still time and keep accomplishing something good. Chalk up some more. All right. You see that it's a race. You see the finish line. You can see the tape across the finish line. Dig down deep. Find some determination and keep moving forward towards that finish line. Okay, you don't necessarily need to sprint. You don't necessarily need to go fast. You don't necessarily need to be overactive in it. You just need to be determined to accomplish something good despite evil appearing to be winning. If you don't, you're just going to give into it and you'll be miserable and falling in line with them. Now, this is where it gets weird, but sometimes this will involve working directly against the bad things that upset you, okay? So, there are bad things that upset you. You have to work directly against the bad by doing something good. You're not getting mad at the bad. You're not getting angry with the bad. You're not fighting the bad. You're not combating the bad. You are doing something good. You are working directly against the bad by doing something good. So when things that upset you go accomplish something good, you'll feel better about yourself. Get it? I almost like self-esteem a little bit. When you accomplish something good, you can look back on it and it looks pretty and you did a good job. You did it with me. Oh man, you feel a lot better. You really do. Again with this, I can't reiterate that enough. Be determined to accomplish something good. Direct your attention away from bad things. Oh shit, I'm starting to stress. Something bad's about to happen. I can tell I'm gonna go there. Stop with that. Take a yellow. I learned this little trick in a psych ward. We had like our code word. Don't talk to somebody if they're upset. They'll use their code word. Well, yellow for caution, right? Okay, my code word's yellow. So sometimes you have to tell people, hey, yellow right now. I don't want to do it right now. We can do it another time. Now, okay. Sometimes this involves working directly against the bad, using the good. At other times, it will be a matter of doing whatever you can to promote biblical goodness according to your gifts, abilities, and circumstances. So, we're involved working directly against bad by doing something good. We're accomplishing something good. It makes us feel better inside, right? You're getting a little self-esteem, not pride, but self-esteem. There's a difference. Okay, people get those two confused. When you have done a spiritual accomplishment, well, it makes you feel good inside. It's an accomplishment. It's supposed to make you feel good. It doesn't give you a fat head, but it makes you feel good inside because you're working directly against the bad things that upset you. Diverting your mind from the bad situation, coming to me in prayer, then working directly against the bad thing that's upsetting you by going out and doing something good, something productive. I'll have issues. I sometimes, when I do get some sleep, I'll sleep part of the day away, and I wake up and it's late in the day, and I'm like, I've wasted part of the day. There's not many days left. All this time is precious. I feel guilty about wasting part of the day. So what do? I overcome those guilty feelings by accomplishing something good. So I'll get out there and mow the lawn and water this or do that, get 4 or 5 things done really quick. So then I can go, well, even though I woke up late and wasted part of the day, that part of the day's chores got done. And now I don't have to stress about that. See, we're trying to avoid the mental battle within by distractions, by praying, listening, receiving an answer, and doing the good thing. You're fighting directly against the bad by doing something productive, doing something not necessarily make you feel good. Sometimes donating your time to somebody else and helping them rake up a yard or whatever. It hurts, it's painful, but when it's all done, you feel good because you helped your friend or you helped your neighbor, right? Those are the spiritual accomplishments we want. You want to build on those. You want to collect as many of those as you can before you hit the finish line. Okay? Get some spiritual accomplishments under your belt. With Jesus, using the power that he gives you. You got to practice these things. Put them into practice, and you will just see miracles happen in your life. Okay. I got more still. We got to go. So what other stuff? So you're gonna be promoting biblical goodness. Now, this promoting of biblical goodness, everybody gets offended at the name Jesus Christ, right? As soon as you mention that, get turned off, right? So you got to approach biblical goodness without tenderly. First, you say, hey, I see you're suffering there. You're stressing about something, right? And they're like, yeah. So, I found a good stress reliever. And it works for me. I do this and I do that. And then they go, really? Well, yeah. And then you get a result. And they're like, huh. So you show them some of the gifts, and they're going to want those gifts. So you're promoting biblical goodness according to your gifts. Each one of you has a talent, a gift, an ability, and certain circumstances. So you can promote biblical goodness according to your gifts, abilities, and circumstances. Either way, you focus less on bemoaning evil and more on working to create something that is good. Okay? So quit talking smack about evil and bemoaning evil and focusing on evil and letting it rule your mind. Get rid of that. Quit focus less on bemoaning evil and more on working to create something good. You can think about something good, but hey, go out and create something good. You're gonna really see results when you see your creation. You'll be like, wow, I built that. I painted that. I cleaned that up. I did that. You can not take pride in your work, but be fulfilled by hard work. Okay. So, okay, here we go with more. So walk with me in close, trusting love bonds of joyful dependence. Okay, that's a 15 concepts all in one sentence, but let me slow it down a little again. So when we're doing the training and you're out there and you're salvaging your day. Jesus help me, this guy pulled in front of me, he's pissing me off, and we start working. That's walking with me. Okay, we're salvaging our day and we're helping others salvage their day. Okay, so that's walking with me. So walk with me in close trusting. Okay, it's all about trusting me. These are love bonds that we're making. We're bonding. You're getting to know me. We're bonding. These are bonds of love. They are love bonds of joyful dependence. So you're depending on me. You're finding joy out of the discipline and finding the results. So that's the joyful dependence. You're trusting in the bonding that we're doing. So walk with me in close, trusting love bonds of joyful dependence. Okay? It's a companionship. Do you understand? We're becoming friends here. This companionship I offer you sparkles with precious promises from the Bible, doesn't it? Aren't these precious little sparkles, these precious promises here on Easter? Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that sparkling with precious promise right there, that heart? Doesn't that just make you feel all warm and fuzzy now? Because you're walking with me in close, trusting love bonds of joyful dependence. The companionship that we have that I offer you does indeed sparkle with precious promises from the Bible. That's because I love you with perfect, everlasting love. I am always with you, every nanosecond of your life. I know everything about you, and I have already paid the penalty for your nasty, nasty sins. All right, the rude ones, the really bad stuff. Yeah, the work that we're doing, right? I've already paid for that. So you might as well find relief by working with me, right? Don't you want that relief? So, I am always with you. I know everything about you. I have already paid the penalty for all your sins. That underword all. Your doubts, your shame, all your sins are gone. You can be free if you can accept that I can take care of all your sins. It doesn't give you permission to go out there and go sin like a madman. No, we're doing salvage work every day. We're trying to improve each day, right? So this is kind of like an inheritance a little bit, these teachings. Your inheritance, these teaching, kept you in heaven, kept in heaven for you, and they can never perish, spoil, or fade. So these concepts that I'm giving you, these images that you're seeing, hearing my voice can never perish, spoil, or fade. Ever. It's your inheritance, kept in heaven for you, and it can never perish, spoil, or fade. These concepts just continue to work as you work them, okay? They don't perish, they don't spoil, they don't fade. It's your inheritance. Your freedom. Do you get that? That's your inheritance. I guide you through your life, and afterward, I will take you into glory. Do you hear me? Do you see me? Do you understand? I will bring you into glory. You practice these principles, your inheritance now. Now you're kept in heaven. You can never perish. This gift that I gave you, and your grasping of it and practicing, no one can ever take that from you. It can never perish. It can never spoil, and it sure as hell never fades. Okay? I guide you through your life, and afterward, I will take you into glory. And you're going to live full and abundant. Independence on me. Dependence is an inescapable trait of the human condition. Many people desire their neediness to work hard to create the illusion of self-sufficiency in their life. Aha. They're working hard for self-sufficiency, which is an illusion. So they work hard to create the illusion of self-sufficiency in their lives with a bunch of materialistic stuff. However, I designed you to need me constantly and to be joyful about your reliance on me. It's supposed to be a joyful exchange. It's not like, oh God, it's so needy. I'm so needy. No. It's drawing you near. We're building a rapport. We're building a companionship. How are we supposed to depend on each other? Isn't that what friendship is, when you can depend on somebody? That would be in dependence on someone. You call up your best friend, hey, can you help me move? I'm getting kicked out and I got all this stuff, and your friend comes through for you. Right? That you're dependent on other people. You might as well be dependent on me, right? So dependence is an inescapable trait, isn't it? And many people do despise their neediness, and they work hard to create this freaking illusion of self-sufficiency. And then again, all this pride. Oh, look at my mansion, look at my Porsche, look at my car. Oh, it's a sickness. They've created the illusion. They live in illusion. They're not happy. They're miserable because they've created an illusion of self-sufficiency in their life. But not you guys. I designed you to need me and to be joyful about our depending on each other. That's how we get to know each other. Recognizing and accepting your dependence increases your awareness of my loving presence. So, your best friend, hey, he not only helped you move, he came over and snowblowed the driveway, and he gave you a jump start one time. So you're accepting your dependence on that person, and when they keep coming through for you, your awareness of loving them grows, huh? They keep fulfilling your needs, and you're starting to get closer and closer. You're like, hey man, this guy's pretty good. I like this guy. He even thought about what my needs were, and I wasn't expecting you to grab me, supplies, but I needed them, and thank you for looking out and thinking forethought for me and doing something. So when you're doing that for friends, the dependence draws you closer. You guys start to bond when one fulfills another's needs, right? So recognizing and accepting your dependence increases your awareness of my loving presence. The more you depend on me, the more I keep coming through for you, and the more you just keep loving me. And the more I keep loving you, I can keep coming through for you, and we can keep up this relationship. It's only you who stops doing it. I will do it all the time. Anytime you ask, it's you who stops doing it. So recognizing and accepting your dependence increases your awareness. Your accepting of dependence increases awareness of my loving presence. This is what draws you closer to me and helps you enjoy my company. I invite you to commune with me, your devoted companion, in more of your moments. Walk joyfully with me along the pathway of your life. Okay? Let's try to walk joyfully now. I know what you're up against. It can be really tough. Try to walk joyfully with me. Okay? Walk with me in close, trusting love bonds of joyful dependence. And I become your best friend. And then you'll probably go slip one day and call me Big Buddy like everybody else does. They can't help it. They're like, hey, Big Buddy. I'm like, I've heard that one before. And how funny. What a term. Big Buddy. Big and a friend who's your pal, your buddy. Okay. Now, we're going to close with this. You guys have really made it far. You're really growing. I see progress in you guys. All right. I know some people are out there. Well, if you would just mention me and the one thing that I did. Okay. But still, that won't make you believe. All right. That's not how we do this. I do not perform magic tricks. So when you're like, well, if you would just mention my situation and how I could fix this. No. I am mentioning your situation. I'm telling you how to fix it through these teachings. Okay. Because I hear that out there. I know. Now, look at that image right there. You see this heart. You see this crown. That's power and authority with a good heart. Okay. I am a shield for all who take refuge in me. I am a shield for all that work the disciplines, who salvage their day, helping others salvage their day, taking my light, shining through you into others' lives. If you're doing that, then I am a shield for all who take refuge in me. When your world is feeling unsafe and threatening, ponder this precious promise. Okay? For like right now, because your world is feeling unsafe and threatening. So, ponder this precious promise. I personally shield and protect all who make me their refuge, their safe place in the midst of trouble. Okay? So, in the midst of trouble, you're looking for a safe place, a refuge. I personally shield and protect all who make me their refuge, all who practice these disciplines, right? When you practice those disciplines, you feel safe in the place. You feel safe in the midst of trouble. Okay? I make you feel safe in the midst of trouble when you practice all the disciplines I'm teaching you here. Then you will truly see that I am a shield for all who take refuge in me. When your world is feeling unsafe and threatening, ponder the promise. I personally shield and protect all who make me their refuge, their safe place in the midst of trouble. Making sense? Almost kind of worked it in there. Practice working salvation each day. That's you taking refuge under my wings. When you're practicing that salvage work each day, you refuse and you're determined, you will feel safe in the midst of trouble. Okay? You gotta try it. You have to try it. You can't just listen to me. You have to go practice it. Now, finding shelter in me involves trusting in me and pouring out your heart to me. Okay, right? So the pouring out your heart is the Jesus, please help me. The guy cut me off and he's feeling like this. That's pouring out your heart, baby. Oh, I can feel that heart pour right when you do that. Okay? When you're doing that, you're putting all of that, you're giving all that to me. You're trusting in me and pouring out your heart. So, pouring out your heart and trusting in me, you find shelter. Finding shelter in me involves trusting and pouring out your heart. See how it works? One way, it works backward and forward. Pouring out your heart to me, trusting in me, you find shelter. So, finding shelter in me involves trusting and pouring out your heart. It really works. You'll feel so much better mentally. And then all that stuff that won't bother you. It won't be. You are your own worst enemy. I am trying to help you fight yourself, okay, successfully by pouring out your heart to me, trusting in me, finding shelter in me. So no matter what is going on in your life, it'll always be the right time to tell me that you trust me. There is no wrong time. There will always, every time is the right time. No matter what is going on in your life, it's always the right time to tell me that you trust me. Sometimes it will be necessary to attend to the demands of your circumstances before you pause to pour out your heart, right? You can't pour out your heart while you're in the middle of salvaging somebody else's day, okay? You're helping them salvage their day, and you messed up, and you cannot pour out your heart and say, God damn it, you stupid. None of this would have happened if I hadn't started helping you. Try not to do that one. None of this would have happened if I hadn't started helping you. Oh, that's a... Please don't let that happen, okay? Instead, no matter what's going on in your life, it's always the right time to trust me. It'll be necessary to attend to the demands of your circumstances before you pause to pour out your heart, okay? So recognize, okay, I'm in the middle of battle right now. I can't pour out my heart at the moment. It's going to hurt some feelings. I will pause to pour out my heart once the demands of the circumstances are over. Sometimes you bite your tongue a little bit until the circumstances have ended. Then you can take a deep breath. Jesus, help me. That was a close one. I almost chewed out that dude. Oh, if I hadn't started that, it wouldn't have done that. Then you can confess that. Then it's okay. Do it that way instead of biting your friend's head off and ruining a good experience. Okay? It'll save a lot of heartache and it'll save a lot of mistakes. So, it's necessary. Sometimes it will be necessary to attend to your demands, the demands of your circumstances. Okay, whatever the circumstances are, you have to attend to that first before you pause to pour out your heart. Then, when you do, whisper your trust and wait till you find the right time and the right place for expressing your deep emotions to me. Okay? Go find a solitude place where no one's going to overhear you talking smack about them, right? They will take it the wrong way. They will think you're talking smack when you are truly praying to me. We're doing work. Okay, that's why it's important that you're alone and nobody overhears because they will get offended, right? So whisper your trust and wait till you find the right time and place for expressing your deep emotions. Then, when circumstances permit, speak freely in my presence. Okay? Speak freely. We're all working on fixing our language. Okay? We're trying not to cuss as much. All right? It does slip out. I take them as adjectives describing your pouring out your deep emotions. Deep emotions come with an F-bomb sometimes. Okay? I understand. We're trying to curtail bad language, all right? Eventually we'll get there. But sometimes when you are expressing your deep emotions, speak freely in my presence. You're talking to a man. You're not thou art thee, thy, the. How are you going to express your deep emotions with a thee, thou art thee? Come on. It's like you're talking to your psychiatrist, okay? And your psychiatrist says you're allowed to scream in this room. Okay, do your screaming, but just don't do it around the person who you're expressing your deep emotions about. Okay, whisper in trust and wait till you find the right time and place for expressing deep emotions. When circumstances permit, speak freely in my presence. And this rich communication will provide real relief. What provides real relief? Rich communication. Rich communication. Okay? I know every slang word, cuss word. You don't even have to use a cuss word to say something really mean. Right? So it's not about your cuss word. They are adjectives. We try to curtail it because it doesn't present a very Christian-like person, right? But I still understand deep emotions come with those speaking freely. So don't let that hinder you. Because that will become an idol in itself right there. That will hinder you if you can't speak freely in my presence. Okay? Even in the chat room. Okay? Some people don't chat because they're like, oh my God, I'm in his presence. I can't say his word. He's going to judge me on that or judge me. No. Speak freely. Let me tell you something about the reason why you have freedom of speech. So you can speak freely. Okay? And for those that don't like their freedom of speech, if you won't stand up and fight for your freedom of speech, then sit down and shut up. If you won't stand and fight for freedom of speech, then sit down and I got another one for you we'll close out with too. Now, whisper, trust, wait, right time and place. Very important. You could blow things and make it worse if you don't do it in the right time and place. And then for your own mental health, speak freely. Lord, I drop in F-bombs and I'm trying to curtail it. But at this moment, I can't. Okay, I hear it. I keep going until you find real relief. Rich communication will provide real relief. It will also strengthen your relationship with me. It'll show that you're getting real with me. It strengthens your relationship with me. And then I help you find your way forward. You want to go forward, right? You want to keep moving forward. You want to find your way forward. Rich communication provides relief, strengthening, giving you strength, strengthening your relationship with me, and helping you find your way forward. You guys getting this? I'm so happy that some of you guys are grasping this. This is awesome. All this hard work is paying off. Thank you, God. My shielding presence is continually available to you. Okay, all the time. It's continually available. The shielding presence is continually available whenever you're feeling fearful. Turn to me and say, Jesus, I take refuge in you. When you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling fearful, when you're feeling embarrassed, when any of those hurtful feelings, Jesus, I take refuge in you. You're telling yourself, I'm done with the negative thinking. I am taking refuge in you, Jesus. I want to feel better. I want to feel real relief. I want to be strengthened. Okay. You guys did really good. Really good. You guys are really grasping this stuff. It's pretty cool. Just thankful for the ones that are. And if you're not yet, just keep working at it, okay? Everybody picks it up at their own pace. Some people get it all at once. Some people little baby steps at a time. These principles, these disciplines really do work in life, and they help you feel happier, more at peace. You'll find peace that transcends all the shit going on in the news, all right? So, one last little thing I'm going to close with. We talked about your freedom of speech. I got one more for you. It's called the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? This whole time, when you were in school, when you go to a baseball game, whatever, you pledge allegiance to a flag, to an inanimate object that has very evil roots. So you better be careful what you pledge allegiance to, right? So check it out. It still works. And listen closely. I pledge allegiance to the God that salvages the United States of America. And in order for the Republic to stand as one nation under God, we need to be indivisible if we want liberty and justice for all. Think about that. I love you all, and I will be back. I'm already back.